Hello and welcome to Sudoku. Let's have a look at this letter weights puzzle that was created by Indian author Rakesh Rai for the round 2 of WPF Puzzle Grand Prix. Well, what we have to do is find the correspondence between those 9 letters and 9 digits from 1 to 9. This is not Sudoku, this is arithmetics. And what we know is that those words are worth all of that, which means actually mathematical equations. So the first thing I'm noticing here is that grip and prix, or prix, but I like French pronunciation, they differ by only one letter, which is G in grip and X in prix, and you see that there's a difference of 1, which means that X is equal to G plus 1. That's the first equation, meaning that the corresponding digits are consecutive. Next, we have something similar with Grant and Argon. Namely, only one letter differs, and this is D in Grant and O in Argon. That's the letter. The difference is 1, so there again, O is equal to D plus 1. Another pair of consecutive digits. And something sort of fun here is that God has the same sum as Argon, and they have 2 letters in common, and if we remove those letters, we don't know yet what is the value of what remains, but we know that D is worth as much as ARN. So D can't be very low, or on the other hand, D has to be a reasonably big number, because ARN is the sum of 3 digits, and the minimum sum is 6. 1 plus 2 plus 3. So we know from this that D is more than 6 or equal to 6. And something else is that D is not equal to 9, because if it were, O would have to be 10, and this is not possible in this puzzle. So D is at most 8. And now we already have only 3 cases. Something else of interest is that because of this can only be done with 2 letters. So O is D plus 1, so D is 1 less than O, and we can see that G plus 2 times D is 20. I've just removed O and replaced it by D by subtracting 1 from all of this. So let's ponder all the options with all of this. So D will be either 6, 7, or 8. And correspondingly, O will be 7, 8, or 9. And correspondingly, we can deduce the value of G. And then I'm writing dog, which is sweet. So if D is equal to 6, that's 12, and G has to be 8. If D is equal to 7, that's 14, and G must be 6. And lastly, if D is equal to if equal to 8, that's 16, and G is equal to 4. So that's 3 scenarios to begin with. And the question we must ask is, what are A, R, and N worth in each cases? And this we can answer because the only way of making 6 as the sum of 3 digits is 1, 2, 3. With 7, that's 1, 2, 4. With 8, there are 2 options, but actually knowing that 4 won't be used, there's only one option, 1, 2, and 5. So that's all for the deductions we have. No, not quite, because x is equal to g plus 1. And I wasn't cautious enough. So the corresponding values of x are 9, 7, and 5. And you can see that the middle column is impossible, because in this case, x has the same value of d, which is not possible within the rules of this puzzle. So there are 2 options left. Oops, sorry about that. 2 options left, this column and this column, and we should see what the possibilities are with the remaining letters, and the remaining letters are I and which one? And P. Yes, the remaining letters are I and P. And if you look carefully, you see that in this case, I and P must be 4 and 5. And, oh, sorry, I had missed that. 5 is impossible here as well. So this case can be removed. And we see now that we have almost all of the information. So we already know that x is 9, that b is 6, g is 8, and o is 7. And we need to dispatch the remaining 5 digits among those letters. So now let's have a look at radio. We haven't used radio yet, and radio has 3 letters in common with ground, and the letters that differ are I and O here, G and N there. So what we know is that I plus O plus 3, I'm subtracting, well, there's 3 more on this word. I'm subtracting RAD on both sides. I'm subtracting 20 on both sides. So here, no, sorry. We know that I plus O is equal to G plus N plus 3. That's it. Radio is 3 more than ground. And removing what's in common, we get this equation. And what do we know? We know that O is 7. So let's replace O with 7. G is 8. Let's replace G with 8. So 7 can be subtracted from this. So only 1 remains here. 1 plus 3 is 4. And we get this last equation, that is I is equal to n plus 4. And let's ponder the digits here. We see that the only way is to have I equal to 5, so that P is equal to 4, and n should be equal to 1. And we know that AR must be 2 and 3 in some order, and we must find how to choose this. So we need to find a word that uses only one of those 2 letters, and grip should do the job. Grip uses G, I, and P. G, I, and P, that's 17, so that R is equal to 3, and A is equal to 2. You can now check that all the values are correct. So this is a way to solve this letter weight puzzle, which was really created so that the use of arithmetics is complemented by the use of logic, and there is no guessing whatsoever in the process. Thanks for watching this video, and see you soon on Pseudo Canard.